Hello, my fellow limitless HBICs. How you doing on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? It's Tuesday, and I'm sitting at my table, not on my couch, because I could not deal with the light drowning me out. So I have to be here. However, I know you can't see my TV over there, but got my little Halloween ambiance video on, which has, crackling pumpkins. You want to see it? Let me show you. This is Kim's life when she's trying to record. And I just leave that on for noise and ambiance if I don't have a movie on, like Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus. Okay. Start the huge. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the Dropbox below, and then the screens that just went by. Also, I do have a channel membership. It is $34.99 a month. But yeah, I go live every single Tuesday with my channel membership group around 9:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I live in New York. Also, I have TikTok and I have Instagram, and I would love for you to join me everywhere. And I noticed that an influx of you came over to my other YouTube channel, which I don't often talk about. I've only been bringing up a little bit lately because I had someone say, why aren't you talking about this? I would have loved to have joined a long time ago, which I appreciate you. But yeah, I have another channel. It's called Kimberly's Other Life. That channel was the first YouTube channel I ever opened. It was initially in my Law of Attraction year. So my old videos are Law of Attraction, Kim, but not that I didn't talk about it very much, so whatever. But it's just me. That's my outside life. I don't necessarily put specific person things in those videos. You'll hear me talking about SB, but I do keep, some stuff private, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that. That's the other life. That's Kimberly's Other Life. It is linked in the Dropbox below if you want to join. Those of you that did come over there, thank you so damn much. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are the witness. I rarely ever talk about that channel because I don't want people to feel like they have to subscribe. And I know that's not a YouTube mentality. I'm supposed to keep telling you to subscribe and stuff. I would love it if you subscribed here, right? Because we want everyone to know about manifestation. And I would appreciate a like on my videos. Long story short, I really didn't understand the impact likes have. And I would appreciate it if you gave me a like. It would help your girl out. Stop talking. That was movement to stop talking. All right, let's get into the video. So this, I'm going to read a snippet here. And this is from Avatar Adi Da Samraj. He has he's passed away. He's no longer with us, but he wrote this really interesting, and it's free book. So if you were to type in consciousnessitself.org, you could get this free book. It's right online. You don't have to download nothing. And in my journey along the years, I would always come back and read this little snippet, even though Neville Goddard and others do discuss, the who we are. I just like the simpleness of this little book. And I think it's important that we remind ourselves, especially if we're struggling with manifestations. So, number one, who are we? Who are we? Most of you are going to answer it like, well, we're conscious creators. Or, we're the people that create our realities. Or I'm Kimberly. And I would like to stop you and tell you, no, you are consciousness. You are consciousness. You are awareness. Okay? But you're consciousness. Think about it like this. If you were sitting right now watching me, you probably are, close your mouth, don't talk out loud, and say in your mind, Kimberly looks snatched today. Yeah, Kimberly looks snatched today. I had to make it funny. Your ability to hear yourself speaking, and I know some of you are going to say, I don't actually hear my own voice. That's okay. But you heard words. You were able to say, Kimberly looks snatched today in your mind by thought. That is awareness. That is your consciousness. So we tend to get lost into, I like to say falling back asleep from consciousness And we believe we are these human meat sacks, and that everything we identify with is identified with this, our human meat sack. Okay? But awareness is more fundamental than body, more fundamental than emotion, and more fundamental than mind. Okay? I am going to be reading little snippets from this in this video, just so you know. That's why I told you where to get it, who it's from. Your constant reality of being aware is your consciousness. Consciousness. You were consciousness long before this meat sack was around. Okay? And when we are manifesting, especially if we have unfavorable circumstances in our 3D, we tend to lose sight of that. We forget that we are pure consciousness, and we start identifying ourselves as Kimberly and Kimberly's reality and what Kimberly is experiencing in her 3D. So what the message I'm trying to get to you is your consciousness, okay? Someone call, the spiritual realm, the who you are in the spiritual realm, right? Some places call it your soul, yeah? Your being. You are consciousness. And by consciousness, I do not mean body or bodily sensations or emotions or even individual thoughts or a person or a thing in the environment. Just consciousness. Okay? One of the little things in this book that I like is, these two different ways of communicating this thought. No matter what arises or does not arise, you are only consciousness itself. There is only consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Okay? So when we are experiencing things, even like within our body, if you're having an emotional reaction to things, in that moment, I'm not trying to tell you that what you're feeling isn't valid, right? Or that if you have a 3D circumstance that is upsetting you, I'm not telling you can't have your emotional reaction to it. What I'm telling you is that in those moments, this is when you want to start reminding yourself that you are not just this meat sack, Kimberly, having an experience we don't like. No, I am consciousness. I am above this experience. I am above this reality. I am not locked to this reality. Hear me. We are not locked to this reality. And some of us, when we find manifestation, as I've said a million times, most of us find manifestation, law of assumption, law of attraction, in some of our worst moments in our life, usually heartbreak or desperation for some other thing in our lives, whether that be, a job, money, health, whatnot. We're usually experiencing something unfavorable. Usually. Not everyone, but most people. And because of this, we start our manifestation techniques and, whether it be affirming, scripting, visualizing, we start these techniques in the hopes of bringing about change within our 3D reality. But we don't realize that when we're thinking that and we're starting these techniques and we're starting this journey, that we sometimes are falling back asleep because we are thinking from a limited mindset. And yes, I'm aware it doesn't help that we have so many new voices in the community that are still speaking from a limited perspective, a limited perspective that is keeping you anchored to the 3D you're currently experiencing. And I know when it is a circumstance that is unfavorable or something you've been manifesting a while and you're just friggin', sick of doing it, you're getting tired out, worn out, frustrated, it's difficult to keep the perspective that you are not anchored to this reality unless you continue to choose to be. I know we have perspectives of we must stay on techniques in order to experience our true desires. And this is not me in any way, shape, or form hating or telling you to stop doing techniques. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if the technique you are utilizing is not changing the who you are inside, who you feel you are, you're staying anchored to a reality that you probably don't want to be a part of anymore, unless you're seeing and having experiences that are bringing you joy. Okay? And that is why this video is trying to remind you of just how much more important, more outside of the box, more above all the shit you're experiencing, you are consciousness. And when we start manifestation journeys, especially if we're struggling, it would do you well to try to remind yourself, number one, that you are consciousness. If that feels like that doesn't jive with you, then maybe if you're someone that believes in God or believes in higher power, then you can utilize the thought of my imagination is God. My imagination is that higher power. That's how I'm manifesting, through my imagination. It's having something to lean back into when you're struggling to manifest what you want out here. And it's because we get into a mindset that we are all alone. That we're all alone and we're on our own little island and we have no one else to help us. Now, we don't need anybody else out in that 3D to help us. But doesn't it, give you that sexy, sassy, a little bit feeling comfortable, feeling safe and secure to know that you have whatever your belief system is, you have that working with you. Meaning, I'm someone that believes in God. I don't necessarily believe in a gender God. I don't think it's a he or a her. It's just God. It's the all-powerful universe God. That's what I believe in. And I believe my imagination is God. And I believe no matter what is in my 3D, and I'm not perfect, even I have my moments where I am triggered or I am emotionally reacting and getting frustrated with circumstances. Even I still have those moments. But in the scheme of things, I know I have that safety net of thinking, well, my imagination is God and God is within me. God is the I am in me. And that's how I'm manifesting. And I am, or God, is not about bringing me pain and misery. It's about bringing me joy and pleasure. Because something I always struggled with was thinking that God was a separate entity, taking things away from me. So it is something now that I choose to lean into when I'm manifesting. And it might serve some of you to start thinking from that perspective that you have your little buddy with you. You have the I am. So what I mean by this is when we're having struggling moments in our 3D, we're getting frustrated or we're thinking things aren't changing, they're not moving, or I haven't seen any type of evidence that what I want is going to be mine. This would be a video to come back to remind yourself, like, no, holy crap, I'm not just Kimberly. I am pure consciousness, and I have full access to a higher dimension, or like the astral world, the astral plane. I have full access to it through my consciousness to help me select the reality that I choose to believe in. Meaning the reality that I choose to live in, the state of being of who I am. It's important that we find a way to completely align or become the versions of ourselves that have what we want. And when we feel we are doing this job all alone on a lonely little island, and it's just Kimberly all by herself doing this, that can feel like having the weight of the world against us. That can feel difficult. But to empower ourselves is reminding our truth. No, I am pure consciousness. I am consciousness. I have the I am within me. The I am is helping to manifest or to project through me. Whatever you feel good saying. If you want to say you're attracting it to you, I don't care. I don't care what wording you use. But just know you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not this lonely little mutant on a mutant island, unable to experience your joys. It's not you. You are not manifesting all by yourself. You have the I am within you. Your imagination is the I am, is your God, is your universe, is your higher power. Whatever you want to jive with, that's fine. And if you've watched me long enough, I'm not saying this from a, holy roller, religiously, get on your knees mentality. I'm saying stop limiting yourself. Open up your eyes. Open up your mind. Get outside of the box. Don't be afraid to utilize your imagination. It's not silly to imagine. If techniques like affirming and visualizing and scripting don't work for you, or you feel like they don't work for you, and that's the story you're telling, then go ahead and start thinking from the perspective of, I don't have to do the techniques. I can begin choosing what reality that I'm living in moment by moment, because I am consciousness. I am not anchored to one specific reality unless I keep telling myself I am. You are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for, because you wake up every single day believing you are this lonely little mutant, all alone, doing all this stuff all by yourself. And you're not. That is your ego talking. You are pure consciousness. Literally, the life you want to live is just a thought or a selection away. Literally. Literally. Don't limit yourselves. We give so much more weight to negative thoughts or anything that doesn't line up with you having what you want, because we have been conditioned. We have been programmed since day one to not get our hopes up in case we get hurt. And like I said, we find it so much more easy to accept bad news and bad things because we've probably had experiences that have made that belief very true to us. But you, with the power of your own imagination, you being consciousness, you have the power within to decide that belief doesn't serve you anymore. And you can start choosing the reality you want to live in. When we're told that if you don't go on a relentless deprogramming journey, that it won't work, that it's not that easy, that's too good to be true. And I'm telling you, it is not, from experience. It's not. It can be as easy as choosing each thought. Meaning, when thoughts come in your mind and they don't fucking feel good, they make you feel like shite, that's not for you anymore. That belongs to your old reality. That's why it feels like shit. Use your body. Use your body as your guide. Use your body and how it feels and how it responds to thoughts as your indicator of what belongs to you and what does not. Okay? And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow. Be good.